Could your ancestors have spoken a different language? Growing up, I thought Sri Lanka was made up of two completely separate peoples. Tamils and Sinhalese, two different histories, two different identities. But the more I researched Sri Lanka's past, the more I realised history wasn't nearly that simple. What if I told you your ancestors may not have spoken the same language you speak today? It sounds unbelievable, but historians, archaeologists and geneticists tell a much more fascinating story. For thousands of years, the Polk Strait wasn't a barrier, it was a bridge. Merchants crossed it, monks crossed it, kings crossed it, families crossed it. People moved between southern India and Sri Lanka long before passports, borders or modern nations existed. And when people move, they marry, they trade, they adopt new customs. Sometimes they even change languages. One of the clearest examples comes from Sri Lanka's own history. Take the Kandyan Kingdom. Several of its last kings belonged to the Nayakkar dynasty from Madurai in South India. They were of Tamil-speaking origin, yet today they are remembered as kings of the Sinhalese kingdom. Their story reminds us that language, ancestry and political identity didn't always match. Then there's the Karava community of Sri Lanka's southwest. Some historians have suggested historical links between the Sinhalese Karava and the Tamil-speaking Karayar maritime communities of northern Sri Lanka and South India. While scholars continue to debate exactly how these communities are connected, their shared seafaring traditions remind us that identities often evolved over centuries rather than appearing overnight. The Mukkuvar tell a similar story. Today, Mukkuvar communities can be found among Sri Lankan Tamils, Sinhalese and Muslims. One community, different languages, different religions, shared historical roots. The Vanni tells another fascinating story. For centuries, this region between the north and south was a frontier. Its chiefs formed alliances with both Tamil and Sinhalese kingdoms. Families intermarried, languages mixed. Political loyalties shifted. The Vanni wasn't simply Tamil or Sinhalese, it was both. Even further back in time are the mysterious Naga people. They appear in Buddhist chronicles, Tamil literature and archaeological evidence. Both Tamils and Sinhalese have traditions connecting themselves to the Nagas. Perhaps that shouldn't surprise us. Ancient identities were often shared long before today's ethnic labels became established. The archaeological evidence supports this picture. Across Sri Lanka, archaeologists have discovered Tamil-Brahmi inscriptions, the earliest known script used to write the Tamil language. These inscriptions record Tamil-speaking merchants, donors and Buddhist monks living across the island more than 2,000 years ago. At the same time, early Prakrit Brahmi inscriptions appear throughout Sri Lanka, different languages, the same island, shared history. Modern genetics tells a similar story. Studies by population geneticists have consistently found that Sri Lankan Tamils and Sinhalese share much of their ancestry. The differences between the two communities are relatively small compared with the ancestry they have in common. This doesn't mean Tamils and Sinhalese are the same people. They're not. Each community has developed its own language, traditions, literature and identity over many centuries. But history reminds us that identities aren't fixed. They evolve, communities migrate, languages change, families intermarry, cultures influence one another. Perhaps that's why Sri Lanka's history is so fascinating. It isn't the story of two isolated peoples. It's the story of one island where people have been meeting, trading, marrying, and shaping each other's lives for more than 2,000 years. Maybe the better question isn't who came first or who belongs here. Maybe the better question is how did so many different people help create the Sri Lanka we know today? Sometimes the most surprising discovery isn't how different our ancestors were, it's how much they shared. Which historical example surprised you the most? And do you think understanding our shared history helps us better understand one another today? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.